If you have ADHD and you're trying to buy a house, I have 3 hacks that might make your life easier. Buying a house has a lot of moving parts. You have emails, documents, inspections, timelines, phone calls, one thing after another. It feels like you're putting together a puzzle and you've dumped out all of the pieces and somebody keeps saying, here's another, I found another one. Eventually you start feeling really overwhelmed. I've had buyers who are incredibly capable and halfway through the process, they start to panic a little bit. And it's not because they can't do it. It's because there's so many little small decisions and tasks that have to be done in addition to continuing to live your everyday life that things just feel like a lot. Some people think that money is the most stressful part of a real estate transaction. I think that cognitive load could easily be the most stressful, if not like the second most stressful piece of a transaction. You have the money issue, but it's the rumination around the money. It's the crunching the numbers and crunching them again and crunching them a third time. Ask me how I know people do that. I do it. That's the part that starts getting really overwhelming. How am I going to move? Who's going to move us? What are my kids going to do? Where are they going to go? Where am I going to put the couch? How will my cheese fit into the cheese drawer? All of the things that one could think about whenever you're moving into a house tends to happen within that 30-day escrow period after you've decided what house you're wanting and then by the time you get to the closing table. If you already struggle with organization or decision fatigue, this whole thing can feel really chaotic, especially if you're not used to doing it all the time. And the trick is not to become organized overnight. Like, don't info load yourself with how to buy a house, how to sell a house, how to be organized when buying a house, checklists for buying a house. All of those things can help in small doses, but if you read through a lot of those, if you are info dumping into your brain in addition to your normal cognitive load, you're going to hate it. You're just going to hate the process. And of course, as an agent, I'm going to tell you, you need to find somebody who is going to help you walk through the process, explain everything so that you feel like you can have your hands off. But as somebody who is also ADHD, I can have the most faith and the most trust in the person that I've selected and also still feel overwhelmed and like the load is heavy. I mean, it's just the way my brain thinks. It's easier to work with it than it is to fight it. So number one, information is going to be coming to you from everywhere during this transaction. You're going to have stuff from lenders, you're going to have inspection companies, you're going to have your pest control, you're going to have your title company. Lots of people are going to be sending you information. You need to pick the number one channel of communication that works best for you so that you're not going to miss anything. If that's text message, then you need to let them know, hey, if you're going to get this to me, I need to have a text message. If you prefer email, then you need to pick the email. And then whenever you're in that transaction, pick a time or two during the day that you can go and take a look to see what it is that you're missing or what it is that you need to respond to in that one location. And that brings me to number two. Whenever you see in that one location where people are talking to you, if you see a document, go ahead, open it up, take a look and sign it. As soon as it comes in, just go ahead and do it. The most challenging part of a transaction is the timelines, to make sure that you're meeting each and every one of the timelines in such a way that the contract doesn't fall through. If you skip a deadline or you don't sign something and we can't get it sent over in time, then you could very easily lose a deal. If it's going to take you less than 5 minutes to do the task, just go ahead and do the thing, and then you can feel good that you've already taken care of what needs to be taken care of. The fastest transactions are the ones where the small things get handled very quickly or immediately. So just keep that in mind as you see things rolling through. Number three, this is huge for people with ADHD. You have to pick what you want and you have to stick with what you want. So you need to pick your top 3 non-negotiable things before you start touring homes. If it's land, if it's bedrooms, if it's the size of your living room, if it's, what you want in the kitchen, if it's a pool, pick your top 3 and then look at every house through the lens of that top 3. I get shiny object syndrome. I see something fun and different and I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't have anything on my checklist. However, did you see the fireplace? Because I love that fireplace. I could see myself hanging stockings up on that fireplace. And while we love a good emotional connection with a home, it's important that you are very consciously going through the steps of this is what we need. this is what we need. This is what we need. And then saying yes or no to the house based off of that. When you're looking at houses, I wouldn't look at more than 3 to 4 in a single day. If you look at more than that, they're all going to bleed together. You're not going to remember what it is that you looked at. At the end of touring on whatever day, go through and rate the houses. This is the one I would pick first. This is the one I would pick second. This is the one I would pick third. Doesn't mean that you have to actually buy the house that you pick first. It just means this is getting me closer to where I want to be. Every house that you look at comes with a brand new decision. Every house that you look at is either going to be a yes or a no. And you have to be prepared to say yes or no and not, well, I could kind of see maybe if we finagled. For instance, here's a great for instance. I went and looked at a lake house the other day and they want me to sell it, which is great. It's in a price point that we could possibly be able to stretch to if we really tried. It's not a smart move and it's in a neighborhood that makes a lot of sense and we just really love the idea of having a lake house. I told myself going into that I wasn't going to do it. I told my husband going into it, I don't want to buy this house. We're not going to buy this house. As I'm looking at the house, I could imagine we could put the homeschool room in here. The boys could be over here. The bathroom, it needs a little bit whenever it comes to the sink, but I think we could make it happen. And then I saw the lake and it had me in my feels. I could see the boat that we don't own floating down the stream into the lake or whatever it is that it's called. I left feeling like I could say yes to that house, but in reality, it's a big fat no. I cannot buy that house. So it's very easy whenever you get into a house to get distracted by what you actually need to do and replace that with hypothetical dream, but it's probably not a good ideas. And again, it's important to have a great agent that you can work with. I am in real estate and I have ADHD. And one of the reasons why I like it so much is because it is an inconsistent pattern. You're doing the same thing every single transaction. You have the purchase and sale agreement, you have your property condition disclosures, you have the same, roughly 30-day window, you have the same deadlines. It's just a different person every time. So it satisfies that need that I have for organization, steadiness, and repetition. But then on the other hand, it satisfies my need for something new. Here's, a new challenge that we get to overcome. Here's the financial thing that we're trying to piece together. Here's the move from across the country that we're trying to take care of. So it's novel and exciting every single time. But then on the other hand, it also is methodical, thought through, pattern oriented. It's the longest job. It's the longest I've ever held a job because it gives me exactly the right amount of dopamine every single time. Now, whenever I have purchased homes, even as a real estate agent, I still feel that internal anxiety, the decision fatigue, the overwhelm of, am I doing the right thing? Or am I just following another whim that I have? And it's important that you surround yourself with people that can kind of help put your feet on the ground and take a look at the numbers or take a look at what it is that you want and need in your life and help guide you towards that yes or no. Buying a house is a lot of moving pieces for everyone. And if your brain works just a little bit differently, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means that the process needs to be structured in a way that works with you instead of against you. If you're thinking about buying a house and the process already feels overwhelming, a good agent should make it more simple, not more complicated. If you're moving to Middle Tennessee or Southern Middle Tennessee, my name's Rachel Ferrell. I've been working here for the past 6 years. It is my favorite place to be. We moved here on purpose. We selected. If you're looking to move to Tennessee, give me a call. My name's Rachel Ferrell. I've been serving this area for about 6 years. Even if I can't help you directly, I'm happy to help point you to somebody who can. Or if you want to talk about more tips and tricks on buying a house, specifically with ADHD, I'm happy to talk about it.